Welcome, guys, back to the I Love Wrestling podcast. I'm your host, as always, Justin Woolwine, and today we're welcomed by Mr. Adonis Allen. How we doing, my friend?
It's doing good. It's finals week, so this is a nice break. Nice break.
Okay. The finals week in school.
Yeah, I'm a junior at DePaul University.
Okay. How you know what? Before we dive into wrestling, how has your education journey been going?
It could be a lot better. I will admit. I think I'm just starting to lock in and realize I need this for post graduation jobs. But so far so good. I'm locking in. That's the important thing. I'm locking in.
Okay. Adonis, before we really jump into the wrestling aspect of things, would you like to shout out your social medias, upcoming events, things of that nature, just to let the fans know where they can catch you heading off into the end of this year?
For sure. So my Instagram is underscore Adonis dot Allen underscore. And my music, I have music on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and pretty much everywhere else under Adonis Allen. And then those were the only socials I have right now. I
Okay.
don't know when this is coming out, but I have an event with Higher Ground Wrestling Saturday, November 22nd, in Wisconsin. And let's see, oh my goodness. I know for sure off the top of my head, December 19th, Lincoln Hall in Chicago with Wrestle League, defending my tag team championships with Kidlat in a cage. So that should be pretty
Oof,
fun. That's all off the
nice.
top of my head. I'm pretty sure I have more, but I have a Royal Rumble on Black Friday.
Okay.
Pretty sure. Okay. That's
Exciting
all off
stuff.
the top of my head.
I like it. Once again, I guess before diving into wrestling, you said music career. I believe your
Yeah.
bio on Instagram says that you rap.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
how'd you get into that, and what has that avenue been able to bring you so far?
I actually got into it through wrestling. I was doing a feud with JR Lindsay at Wrestle League. And since then, we've been pretty close. He wanted to get me on this album he was bringing other wrestlers into. And
Okay.
so I wrote a verse, got in the studio. And then since then, it's I find it very fun. And the way I see it, it's like connecting or fleshing out the Adonis character. And so I write songs. I try to write it through an Adonis lens.
I like
Um,
it.
Mainly also because I don't want the stuff I talk about attached to me and my professional life. So I attach it to Adonis. And it's just so much fun. And I love doing it with my friends, B Wizzle, JR Lindsay. It's like a nice little artistic expression to do.
Okay.
It's so fun. Love it.
I like the idea of because most like for instance, I guess one of the most popular guys right now that raps and wrestles would be Swerve
Hmm.
Strickland. I like how you're utilizing the wrestling persona to go into the avenue of rap because like you said, then you can detach it from maybe your personal life
Yeah.
and everything you're saying through that lens is through the Adonis character. So realistically, I don't want to say what you say in the raps don't matter as much, but it's kind of like, well, this is the character
Yeah.
talking, not myself, if that
Exactly.
makes sense. So you can be a little bit more extreme, a little bit more
Yeah.
edgy
Yeah.
because it's through that lens, not these aren't your actual beliefs. This is how Adonis the character believes.
That's exactly how I see it. Especially
I love it.
going into the corporate professional world. I've never had an issue, but you never know, and so you got to be
No,
careful.
actually.
But that's Adonis. That's Adonis talking. That's not me. That's not me.
Well, I guess that's I don't think I've ever said this on here before, but lately I've had people come to me and ask me "Hey, do you want breaking news or you want scoops?" And my thing is I'm not a journalist. I didn't go to journalism school. I didn't, I'd never learned that world. I'm just a guy who picked up a camera and started talking to wrestlers. So I'm a podcaster. So my thing is trying to make sure I'm out of the journalism space to where I can maintain because in a way as a podcast this is my persona Justin Woolwine, the human being outside of here is one thing. When I get on camera and when I'm doing live streams and reacting to wrestling and talking to you guys, completely different feel. Obviously it's a lot different because I'm not a wrestler. I don't have like a character per se, but maybe my opinion on here can be a lot more extreme than what it would be in normal life because I'm maybe over exaggerating for an audience.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I
I
mean?
think it's so important, in my opinion, it's so important to differentiate the two. Because I
Yes.
feel like a lot of people will see themselves as the character. And I feel like that creates a lot of issues. I feel like that creates, ego issues. I think
It could.
it's so important to different. You are not your character. I think at the end
Mm-mm.
of the day, your character is your character. Like, I think at the end of the day, you also have to put yourself into the character.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it's not you. So I feel
It's
like,
kind of like I always hear the turn it up. Like
yeah.
you turned up to 10 or a
Mhm.
thousand or whatever. Like I think that's the best way to explain it.
Yeah, I agree. It's so important because I think people cling on to it way too much, and it's just like that's not you. Like we're telling a story at the end of the day, like But
What's your favorite song you've released or been a feature on?
hmm, I think I'd probably have to say Ruthless, Undertaker, or IMMN. IMMN. That's probably like a fan favorite run. That's like all my friends talk about that one. Like mainly because that one is more of like a joke. That one is like me playing around.
I
But I,
like it.
I love how hard I go on Ruthless and Undertaker.
Okay. And the audience can find those on Spotify,
Yeah,
Apple Music.
Spotify, Apple Music,
Okay.
YouTube, not SoundCloud, but pretty much everywhere else.
Okay. 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 Just a fun separate question. There's been a lot of, I kind of hinted at it earlier, there's been a lot of wrestlers who ventured into music. What's your favorite wrestler slash music artist out there ever?
Mm, honestly, I'm not as well versed with that. However, mm, I might just cheat a little bit. I think I'm gonna say my friends J.R. Lindsay and B Wizzle because I do unironically listen to their music a lot, um, especially B Wizzle. I'll play in the car sometimes with Kid Lat, and
Right.
we'll sometimes joke about that. But yeah, I listened to like one R Truth song, and I
Okay.
liked it. It wasn't something I added to my playlist and stuff. But I liked it. I digged it. Um, but yeah, I'd have to say J.R. Lindsay or B Wizzle. Do you have one?
I mean, in a serious aspect, I would say Cena. He's not like he went platinum.
Oh, you know what? Okay, Thugonomics. I do love
Thugonomics is
Thugonomics.
fire.
I do love
That's I don't know
Thugonomics.
what the album's called, but the one with the spinner belt. I think it's the only album he actually put out. That album wasn't bad. Like I've listened to some of the music on it, and it's not bad. Now, if we're going like unserious, Randy Savage's rap album wasn't good by any means.
I had a rap album. Oh my goodness.
Comedy wise, if you listen to it from like a comedic lens, like he has a whole diss track on Hogan. Like it's good. It's good stuff. Like
Okay.
it's not good from a music lens at all. Like I don't think like you know Macho Man in the Booth was a great idea, but looking back and being able to laugh at it, it's hilarious. I love it so much.
Now that you said that, I do want to change my answer. Apologies to my friends, but I want to change it to Thug Life. Or I think that's the one. It's a John Cena one, and like the lyricism is like not something I would expect from him.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
I, I will say John Cena. I think that's gonna be
I
my answer.
think it's the safe answer too. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie. And my thing is the thing with Cena and music is if we look at the whole Doctor Thugonomics era of Cena, uh, all the freestyles were good. I don't think
yeah,
Cena went out there on SmackDown or Raw or wherever and did a freestyle and it was bad. They were all good, and he definitely like you could tell he understands the art of freestyling,
yeah.
which his opponents usually never did.
He
um,
he probably raps a whole lot better than me. I won't even lie. A whole lot better than me.
hey, he might be done in ring, but who says when Adonis Allen makes it to WWE, which undoubtedly will happen, then maybe Cena comes out and maybe you guys get to have a little rap battle.
Maybe maybe I get a little nervous freestyling. I'm much more of like a sit down. I think when I freestyle, I tend to say not good things. Like
I
I
look,
think.
I agree 100%. The worst things come out of my mouth. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a good freestyler at all. It's all terrible. But no, bad things come out of my mouth when
Yeah,
I freestyle.
not camera friendly.
No, I think we're in
Um,
the same boat. I think we're in the
yeah.
same
So
ballpark.
you know what? He might have to take that one. I won't lie. I might just have to give it to him.
I love it. So, just speaking of Cena, we are there's 2 dates left in his retirement tour. What have you thought about the retirement tour so far? And what are your expectations for the last two shows that we're gonna get?
Honestly, I thought because I was thinking about this recently. It's like I don't know. I'm so grateful because I wasn't into wrestling when he was. I got into it about 2016. So when I
Okay,
was in sixth grade ish. So I
gotcha.
learned about it pretty late. I knew like people would say John Cena, like all that. So like I sort of
You
knew
had the
of it.
memes. The
Yeah, like
memes were out there.
so I'm very grateful to be seeing him in action, not only as an adult, like as a wrestling fan, but as a wrestler too. Like, cause he's a legend. Like he's a
Yes,
legend. I would see him in the movies, but now I get to see and like experience his in ring work, um, which means a lot. I think lately a bunch of legends have been coming back, which is super cool. AJ Lee, which I loved before like I started wrestling, so it's really cool to see his. I hate saying retirement because like I really hope that's not true. I really hope one day he does come back, but I really enjoy seeing it and how they're like sort of stretching it out,
yeah,
seeing who his final opponent might be. And it's very sentimental. Like, I feel like when you retire, you sort of leave a legacy. And so,
yes,
like, it's very interesting to see, the legacy he's leaving, the people he's inspiring. Like, you can't deny his impact, which I think is really interesting.
definitely, definitely. I think it's been a perfect way to kind of check off especially the second half of this run. It's been all about checking off those boxes that haven't been
Yeah.
checked yet. Whether it's putting over the new guys or the Intercontinental Championship win, or I mean, even reconciling the parts of the first part of the run that they maybe dropped the ball on. They've been really good about kind of clearing all that up, fixing it, and then I think they're really even with the tournament that they're putting together to figure out who his last opponent is a good way to put the bow on it and say,
And
hey,
you
this
have all
is
these guys coming back for the tournament too, like
yes,
Dolph Ziggler, Zack Ryder. Like I think it's interesting. I love how everyone's coming together to like tell this story. It's really cool and really deserving of John Cena.
definitely. And I'm just I think the biggest thing for me because I was a Cena fan. I begged my dad to get me the spinner title whenever they first made the toys for it back in the day.
Did you
Um
ever get it?
yeah, I did. I
Okay.
got it like 2 years after it came out. Thought with him at a Toys R Us, but I got it.
Cool. Okay. Good.
Funny enough, the first autograph I got on it was our truth.
Word. Okay. Nice.
Yes, yep, yep, yep.
Have you been
But
to a lot of events?
as a kid, I went to a lot. In my teenage years, it was a lot more spread out.
Okay.
But the events I did go to were bigger. Like as a kid, I used to go in West Virginia. We go to indie shows all the time, and it was
Okay.
just a lot of it was IWA East Coast, which had like Madman Pondo and a lot of deathmatch wrestling. Like I saw Sabu as a kid. Billy Gunn made an appearance, but like Balls Mahoney from ECW showed up. Sandman. Like there was a lot of that nostalgia. And then growing up, when I moved to Rockford, Illinois, we went to a couple Smackdowns that were at the like BMO Center here in Rockford, and then I got to go to Takeover Chicago, the first one where Tyler Bate fought Pete Dunne. DIY broke up, and then this last year I've probably went to a wrestling event once every month at least, if
Nice.
not two or three shows, just because I've been covering it. And
Hmm.
I've been I, it now it's for my fiance, it's an excuse for me to go to wrestling and watch the shows. But professionally, it's a reason for me to go and network and talk to you guys and make connection, make friends, and build a brand. So that's been my journey so far, I guess, with wrestling. How about yourself?
Because when I first got into it, I was like obsessed. So like, and my brother, since we're close in age, and I was the older brother, like he did whatever I did. So we went. I think the first one was a live event, but I was around then. I was new to the point where like I didn't know what a live event was. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't wait to be on TV. And it was nothing like that. It was a untelevised match, but it was still so much fun, and I loved it. And then I went to Money in the Bank with my dad and brother in Chicago. Maybe I was still in like elementary school, middle school. Whenever it was in Chicago, Money in the Bank. Whenever it was in Chicago,
Was it the one
then
where Punk
Survivor
won?
Series. No, Punk wasn't
No,
even
no,
back.
Punk was
It was
gone. Okay,
I want to say it was Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax. It was the one with them.
okay, I know which one you're
Um,
talking about.
and then Survivor Series. I'm actually wearing the shirt under this because I worked out before coming here. But here, let me see. It's the I wanted to wear the polo though because the shirt was too like exposed. It's the
I got
one
you.
where
Okay, so Brock first
NXT.
Ray. I
Yeah.
like it.
So that was super fun, and my dad got like close seats, so that was like super cool. Um, and I think that was it. Other than the SmackDown this year, I went for my birthday because it was on my birthday.
Okay,
So that was a super cool event. Missed the one AJ Lee was going to. Like
I
after
missed that one too.
I wanted to go so bad. After I heard the rumor she was going to be there, it was sold out. I was so mad. Like I needed to be there, but I wasn't. So
Man, that was one because that was also seen as last. I don't want to say it was the
I
last
think
SmackDown, but it was the last
last
SmackDown in
SmackDown.
Chicago.
Yeah.
So like, I really wanted to go to that one. I didn't get to. I went to the one. I don't know if it was right before it or two before it where Jacob Fatu debuted. That was
Where did
crazy.
you? Okay, yeah. I don't think that was the one I was at. I think that was
Nah,
before that.
yeah, Punk. Punk wasn't cleared yet, but they did the angle where Drew attacked him and then drug him out. Um, and then yeah, Jacob Fatu came out and him and Solo and them attacked Cody.
Mm.
It was really surprising because I didn't see it coming at all. Okay, and we had decent seats. They wasn't the best seats, but like we wasn't in the up area, but we was like
Yeah.
in the middle section. So it was nice. It was good. We had a great angle, especially like we got to see Fatu jump off the top rope through Cody onto the announce table. I mean, it's like almost behind the announce table, so like it was like perfect like view of the whole scene. So it was good stuff.
Such a great experience. Like I love going to wrestling events live, like as a fan. Even indie
Yes,
shows, like when I
love
have
it.
the time, me and Lat went to like a CSW show. We were dorming back at DePaul back then. And so we made the trip. I think like once or twice, and it was just so nice seeing things like as a fan. Sometimes it's hard. It's easier at indie shows because like they're sort of like we're based on we're on the same level. Like I shouldn't be
Mhm.
like there's no room to judge. It's just like enjoyment. But
Yeah.
like I know when I watch WWE, like I'll look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I know exactly what they're doing. I can see like everything. Like oh they're talking there. It's like you watch it as a student almost.
Hmm.
Like indie shows I can go watch, enjoy as a fan, but WWE it's like a student. Like I'm studying it, I'm looking at it. Like when I go with my dad, I tell them like they just like oh, they just did this, they just did this. But it's cool. Like I never would have expected how I look at wrestling now. Now that I do it, like you look at it very differently, which I never would have expected.
I can agree, maybe to a lesser extent, because obviously I'm not trained in it. But like ever since I started doing the podcast, it's now I look at everything through that analytical lens just because I want to understand what you guys are going through and what you guys are experiencing and what you guys are living. So
Hmm.
then I can try to connect with you through it, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
no, that makes total sense.
So I mean, we've touched on the live events. We've touched on maybe the basics of your fandom, but how did it start? Like, when did you find wrestling, and what about it like made you fall in love with it?
So I was a big superhero fan. Still am a very big
I could
superhero.
tell.
You get yeah, yeah. Um, and so I was following a game called Injustice 2,
Hmm.
and Up Down Down, Xavier Woods like YouTube channel was collaborating with them. And so I was looking. It was Sasha Banks, Bailey, Kofi, and Xavier. And so I was looking at Sasha. Honestly, it was her hair. Her hair was like so colorful and like purple that I was like, okay, like maybe I'll look her up. So I looked her up, um, checked out a few of her matches, and like fell in love. Like I loved the attitude, like the drama. Like I tell my friends all the time, it's like reality TV, but like you can actually lay hands on each other. And
Yeah.
so I was hooked from there. I would watch. I think eventually I started watching like the TV, like Raw. Learned about SmackDown. Started watching SmackDown. Started buying the games, the 2K games. Um, let's see, and then like I eventually realized sort of the performance aspect of it. I was always the kid that like figured things out. Like I figured out Santa wasn't real. Like I would put two and two together, and so I would like look at the things they do, and I'm like, wait a minute, like this something's off. And so I looked it up, found out sort of the performance aspect. I already wanted to be an actor at that time, and
Okay.
so I was like, okay, like how do I do this? So I looked up schools in Chicago. Joined Wrestle League when I was 17. I found out about it at like 14. And then like I asked them how old I needed to be. They said 17. But then after like the quarantine or like mid quarantine, they like lowered the age. So I could have started way earlier. But I'm still very, very irritated about that. But it's cool. My journey is my journey. And so I started at 17, debuted at well, no, debuted at 17 too. Well, closer to my 18th birthday. I
Okay.
debate. I started April of 2022. I want to say no. See, I don't even know. So I want to say 2023, but I don't think that's accurate. I've been training for 4 years. I think performing for about three. So
Okay.
probably started 2022. But I also suck at math. I'm a finance major, but I suck at math. So
It
you know,
makes sense.
yeah,
It makes
right,
sense.
right. So
But
I'll probably have to fact check myself.
that's right. I just had your Instagram pulled up, and I'm pretty sure you have your debut on there. And me as the
I do,
podcast guy, I
yeah.
should know the date, but I didn't write it down. So
I should know the
that's
date.
on me too.
I say I don't even know myself, but I definitely have it on there. Um, I've tried to track because like, and you see like the shift in my profile. It's like
Mhm.
like classic, like taking pictures of myself, posting them, and then like it shifts to like wrestling
It's
dominance. Like,
immediately wrestling, and then
yeah,
everything's. I liked
yeah,
it because it makes it really easy to figure out when you guys transition from,
hmm,
I mean, from a fan to a wrestler. Like it makes
yeah,
it, which is it's so interesting, I guess, as the guy doing the research to kind of look at that transition to see maybe obviously like when we look at social media, it's I mean this in the best way possible, but we post what we want people to see.
absolutely.
So like we get to see that lens, and then it transitioned to the wrestling character. So
Hmm.
it's like getting to see that is always fun because like you'll get complete 180s sometimes. Yours, I think, like you could tell like that Adonis isn't far from who you are
Yeah.
in real life, which is cool because that just shows you've obviously turned that dial up. But some guys and even girls I've seen like girls, for instance, I've seen you have I mean, this in the best possible way too, like the more Barbie popular girl, and then you'll go to wrestling and it's like complete 180, like she's got this goth gimmick and everything's black and dark. And so like yeah, it's cool seeing that
Yeah.
transition.
Adonis is not too far. Like Adonis will go that extra mile. I definitely think we handle things very differently, but
Mhm.
at the end of the day, like we're both super sassy. Like everyone in my business fraternity, like I'm very known to be sassy. Like that's my reputation. Like I think that's my reputation everywhere. So Adonis is just like an amped up version of me with like a little gimmick sprinkled in, So,
Okay.
but yeah,
So what you're saying is you sprinkle a little bit of the Adonis dust on the actual you to create the character. Does that make
yeah,
sense?
a,
Okay.
a
Okay.
little a little sprinkle and then like dial it up.
Dial it up. Okay.
Hmm.
So just to dial it back a little bit, just a little bit, who were some of your favorites growing up, and maybe out of them, who did you take inspiration from?
So I think character wise, I definitely took more from Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks, I would say, is my all-time number one favorite.
Okay.
I think that's sort of changed as time went on, but um, like she's like all time, she's had the most impact throughout my entire career. Like as a fan, as a wrestler, just her attitude, her persona. I think her moves too. Um, love Sasha Banks. Love the boss. Um, let's see. I want to say Finn Balor growing up, or not growing up, but getting into it was a big favorite of mine. Mustafa Ali, AJ Lee. Let's see. Tiffany Stratton right now is my current favorite.
Okay.
I love Tiffany
Tiffy
Stratton.
time.
Uh, yeah, it's to me it's always Tiffy time. My clock is always at Tiffy time. Lash Legend I think is like
I think she's gonna be a star, man.
she, if not already, like
Yes.
she is.
Like
I love her so much. She deserves so much more praise than she gets. I think her power, like she just tells a story with her power so well. Love Lash Legend. Let's see, Soruka. I see. As you
her
can tell, I'm a big
finish
like.
is crazy. I love her
It's like
finish.
it's psycho.
I
It's
love
like
it. It's the most 2K generated finishing maneuver
yeah,
I've ever like if they brought back the created finisher from like way back in the day, I think it was like SmackDown versus Raw, but that's what it's from. Like there's no
yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
Like I don't know what they were on cooking that up, but it was good. It was
Yes.
the good
I
stuff.
love it.
Like, but I'm very like women's wrestling oriented,
I
mainly
like
because that's how I got into
okay.
wrestling. And so I feel like I know my wrestling friends always like make fun of me. I know women's wrestling lore a lot more than men's wrestling, like history, like
Okay.
people, theme songs. Um, I'm still not the biggest with, or I'm not the best with like the history, especially with me joining so late,
Mhm.
um, compared to other people like they grew up watching it. Um, but yeah, women's wrestling is like my niche. Like I love women's wrestling.
I really like that you said it because I feel like, especially the male audience, I don't feel like gives enough appreciation to the women's wrestling. Especially like my
Mm-hmm.
little brother, he's 15, yeah, 15, and we do live streams every Monday and Wednesday, and we always give him flack because he like we rate all the segments so we can give a rating at the end of the show or whatever, and he always gives the women's segments the lowest rating because he's not enjoying them as much. And I'm like, come on, like man, and like
And it's honestly sometimes it's the women's that like
sometimes they carry
do
the
the
show,
best.
man. Like
Yeah,
especially I've noticed on Raw lately, the one thing Triple H does right is booking women's wrestling. He's really good at it. It's sometimes like Maxine winning last night as we record this.
I
Um,
wasn't expecting
I loved it,
that.
and like I ever since the first time she fought Becky, I was like, for one, shock value. It make Maxine a star. They need to do it. And I kept telling my dad and my little brother, like, hey, she didn't win here because of, disqualification. She didn't win here because of count out. The next one, Maxine's got it. And they're like, no, 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 no. Like, Becky's got to win it. Like, they're not going to give it to Maxine. I popped. I was in the other room. I stepped away for a second and I was in the other room and I heard it and I popped in the other room because I was like, she deserves it, man.
She has worked so hard, and I feel like people would dog on her. I think, and it's crazy. Like I hate when like fans dog on people because it's like I don't think they understand like the hard work that goes into it, like the passion you have to have. Because I feel like she's grown so much. Like I love watching her. I love her energy, her vibe. I think she's grown so much, and it's nice to see that pay off. I'm so happy they introduced the mid card titles for women
Yes.
because it's like there's so much more stories they can tell.
It's a stepping stone,
Like
too. get to
It
that
is,
world.
yeah.
Like that's the whole point of the Intercontinental titles to get you ready to be world
Mhm.
champion.
Yeah.
So
Because there's only so many stories they can tell with two titles,
definitely,
you know?
definitely. You mentioned earlier that Sasha might be your favorite.
Hmm.
I'm a big proponent that Sasha Banks is better than Mercedes Monet.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk
Let's
about it.
talk about.
Okay.
Let's dive
So I
in.
talk about this all the time. I feel like, and I don't want to dog on anyone, especially people above
Yeah,
my like everything. But I feel as though I'm not a big fan of the belt collector
no,
thing. I feel like it devalues not only the wrestler in my opinion, but the titles they carry. I couldn't tell other than the TBS championship, I can't tell you one other championship that she's carrying. And I feel like that shouldn't be the case as a champion. Like I feel like you as a champion, you elevate the title, the brand, and I can't say she's doing that holding so many.
mm-hmm.
Like I just don't think I hated when Roman had two,
Okay,
let alone 12.
yes.
Like I just hate that. And she's so talented. I love her so much. But yeah, Sasha Banks. I love Sasha Banks is here. Mercedes Monet is here.
Look,
Like
I've met her. I met her outside of an AEW show. Actually, we went to one whenever they was in the Wintrust Arena in Chicago. She was the only person that stopped, signed autographs, said hi. The only one out of everybody.
I love her so much.
Sweet
Love her so much.
sweetheart. But
I want to meet her so bad one day. So
the
bad.
boss is better than the CEO. I'm just gonna say it.
Most definitely.
So,
I think I feel more connected to, and maybe I'm biased, just like coming into wrestling. She's who I idolize, but
mhm,
I feel I have such a bigger connection to the boss rather than the CEO. And I don't want to devalue her work
yeah,
because to me she's one of the best women's wrestlers like of this generation ever. Like I'm also biased, so you know, but she's so talented. Like the energy she brings, her moves, everything. But I miss Sasha Banks. I really, really, really miss Sasha Banks. Like I hated the whole walkout situation.
yeah.
Like I felt like that was very,
It was unfortunate.
especially because the women's tag. You said
It was
what?
unfortunate.
It was so unfortunate because I think the women's tag team belts like it's cursed at this point.
Yeah,
Like I was so happy. I you knew it was coming. Like they had the Iconics, who is one of my favorite tag teams. Love the
underrated,
Iconics.
underrated.
Very
They're so
underrated.
underrated.
Very their theme, everything about them, like from the theme song to the whole like besties dynamic. I loved the Iconics. Like they were my favorite tag team. If not, if it wasn't them, it was Bailey and Sasha. But it was the Iconics. I'm gonna say they were my favorite.
Okay.
Um, but loved them. I think they were so underrated, and you knew the belts were coming because they were putting. Oh, there was also Absolution. I loved Absolution. But you had all these stables and teams like you knew it was coming, and then it came, and then it was just amazing. Like I loved it, but then I feel like random tag teams together, and I feel like
Yeah.
you would lose sort of the value because I feel like you have so many like like you have stories that make sense. Like you have Bailey and Sasha, Absolution, the Right Squad, but they would put random people together, and it's like okay, like they're like authentic teams out here that like I would love to see. I would have loved to see Shakira Jackson and Lash Legend get it.
Mhm.
Like I just think there's so many teams that make sense that like could have gotten it, and I feel like it's definitely lost its value since then. And like I'm looking forward to see how they're gonna bring it up. But and I only say that because like I care so much. Like I'm a big fan of women's wrestling, and I hate seeing it like I don't know, like lose its momentum. And I think it lost its momentum when they walked out.
Agreed. I think I know it kind of goes against what you was just saying, but
Mm.
I think having Charlotte and Alexa win it
I do love that. I
elevated it
do
a lot
love
because they were
yeah.
two women that at the height of the Raw and SmackDown women's divisions when there was the Raw, women's title and the SmackDown women's title, those two women elevated those divisions. And then they kind of take a step back, becomes a mother, one takes some time off, and then you bring them together and then you give them the tag titles. The dynamic was very like I don't want to say Gold Dust Booker T because that like they were a comedy like kind of shtick, but it kind of
Mhm.
reminds you of the different dynamics that work so well together. And like I think they dropped it too soon. I'd let them hold it for a minute, like a long minute, if you want me to be honest.
I'm so glad you said that because I when they and when initially when they won, I was or not when they won when they got together, I was like,
Mhm.
okay, like I don't get
Skeptical,
it. You said what?
skeptical, maybe.
Yeah, like I was like, okay, like I'm not sure. I thought it was just another like random sort of pairing, but like it works so well. Like I love their dynamic. I think this is what Charlotte needed, especially after the whole Tiffany thing. I
Yeah.
think in general though, like the public, like they would always dog on Charlotte, especially like her. She would return, win a
Hmm.
title, and people or like win a Rumble, and people like hated that. So
Yes.
I think like this was a really good move to like really elevate the morale with her and the audience because I love it. And I never really disliked Charlotte. Like I feel like she's very overhated. Like she's very talented. Um, she's one of my favorites too. Like I would always play her in the 2K games. Oh, her and Ember Moon. I forgot to say Ember Moon
Ember
earlier.
Moon was goaded
Love
back in the
Ember
day.
Moon. But yeah, Charlotte very overhated, and so I'm really glad this is like sort of like improving people's impressions of her because she's a really good wrestler in my opinion, and I hate to see her overhated. Like it's just not fair in my opinion.
Absolutely, absolutely. So something I am very interested in, and I love this part of your guys' journey and story, um, is the process from being a fan to starting training. Like, what
Mhm.
did that look like for you? How did you find the right training school for yourself? And then what did the training process look like for you? Was it something that came easily? Was it something that was harder? Like, kind of break that down for us.
So I actually like. I think for me a big thing was price and location, especially because
Okay.
back then I was in high school, and so I didn't really have. Well, let's see. I had my parents to drive me around, but I ended up taking the train maybe like towards my junior year of high school, sophomore year. The CTA system. Shout out to the CTA system. It's love it. Oh my gosh, goaded. But so I settled on Wrestle League. I don't even remember the criteria. I want to say it was distance and price, but I could be wrong. Um, Started training there. I was the type of kid I would do moves on my brother. Like I would watch like Total Divas and like watch like segments of them training. I would watch. There was this BuzzFeed video of like them training to be wrestlers. I would watch that, and I would do the bumps. I remember teaching myself how to do like a flip bump in my mother's bed. Um, so like I like kind of had an idea of stuff. So I joined Wrestle League, um, and it was like I definitely didn't get things like immediately because it's very different like doing what you see and like being taught it, but I
Mhm.
definitely picked stuff up. I'd say pretty quickly. And it was just oh my gosh, that was like my prime. Like that was my prime. Like after school, we were Wrestle League was at hybrid martial arts back then, so I would leave school, get dropped off in like the loop area, take the blue line up to like Addison, and that would be my routine every Monday and Wednesday. I want to say, yeah, Monday and Wednesday, and Saturdays too. Saturdays too. And I was new, so I wasn't booked then, and so it was nice having that consistent weekend training back when
Okay.
I like had time and could stay like for however long I needed to. But oh my gosh, I miss those days. Miss those days. I don't train as much as I should now. They moved to like Berwyn, which is
Okay.
about like 50, 40, 50 minutes away from me. So it's like a lot more of a time and like money commitment, like Ubering and stuff, compared to when they were at hybrid. So that's been a little rough. I I've trained in Denver too, because I would intern at a company in Denver for the last 2 summers, and so I would train out there. That was a lot more consistent for me, because
Okay.
I thought it was like almost like a fire issue, like a passion, like I lost my flame, but I realized it's just like there's only so much I can do, like money wise too, like my parents would be the ones paying for it. And also just takes so long to get there and back. Like I'm a full time student. But back in Denver, it was like I think 3 days out of the weekday, like I went there. It was like a 20-minute Uber, so it was super easy, super consistent for me. Like I want to get back in that consistent training mode. I think that's like my mission, definitely for 2026. I've been hitting up Ice Pick, Vic
Okay.
Caprice trainings every Friday because those are the days like DePaul has like Fridays off. If you're a business student, if you're a film student, that's not the case. But a business student, you have Fridays off, so it's really easy for me to sort of cut out my day for the training. It takes me like maybe an hour, 2 hours to get there, but I have the whole day free, so it's like okay, like I might as well. Um, but yeah, so I'm looking to get back training consistent. I'm hoping to go tomorrow, but finals is proven to be very, very difficult. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, I want to say thank you for taking your time out of your study and to come join us here on the
No,
I Love Wrestling podcast.
no problem, no problem.
Just out of curiosity, what were some of the biggest things you've struggled with during the training process, and what were some of the things that maybe came easier to you?
I think the aerial stuff came a lot easier to me. I know sometimes like the wrestlers joke with me about like how I got like a springboard first try. I love jumping off the well. I say love. I still get really nervous jumping off the top rope, but like it comes easier to me. Um, I think what was hard, I say slowing down, and I still struggle with it. Was like taking the time to like express yourself, sell. Um, that's something I could still work on. And I think just getting used to like the bad bumps. Like I hate body slams. Germans are okay. I know people dog on Germans. Ooh, I look, don't love them, but I'll tolerate them. They're okay.
Okay.
Choke slams, I don't
I
like.
heard choke slams and power bombs are the worst.
Power bombs. Honestly, power bombs to me aren't that bad, but choke slams will like take the wind, everything out of me. Like those are rough. Those are very
Okay.
rough. Um, but yeah, I think communicating, but like as the more experienced person, like I'm working on being a leader in the ring. I think sometimes it's hard because like still struggle to get something, so like it's hard to express something to so like someone when I don't even understand something. But yeah, I think being a leader, taking my time, and like the hard bumps, I'd say.
Okay. So you said you started training, and then maybe a little less than a year later, you made your debut.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind both before and after that match?
Honestly, it was a very rocky road. I started training. Well, we already established I don't know what year. It's either 2022 or 2023, one of those. April of one of those years. And then I was supposed to debut at the show coming up that December. Um, but I think I sprained my knee, so I
Okay.
couldn't do that. I had to do music. And then January was my next debut date. But then my cousin died, and so I like, and I see. I didn't understand. I was young, so I didn't understand that like sort of funerals were okay to like miss something for the funeral. Like I thought like oh like they're not gonna understand like, but that was me being young and like an experience with life. But and I was still struggling to find a name at that time. I knew I wanted to do Adonis. I wanted to keep that AA because my shoot name is AA. That's my initial. Those are my initials. And like it gave superhero, and like I love superheroes, like Bruce Banner. Like they have the sort of
Yeah.
same letter for in their initials. And so I saw Adonis in like an episode of Teen Titans, so I knew I wanted to do that. Um, but I was trying to figure out like what last name like rolled off the tongue, like what sounded good with Adonis. And then my cousin, his middle name was Allen, so I thought, okay, like I feel like it just makes sense. I do Allen, so that's where Adonis Allen came from. So I ended up missing my debut match for the second time that January, but I ended up coming up with my name that I really love and appreciate. And so then I debuted that March at our anniversary show. I wasn't even supposed to debut. Like I was always told to bring your gear. That's how I got a lot of opportunities, is just bringing my gear and being ready.
Absolutely.
Um, and so my coach, Shogun Chris Logan, he asked me if I had my gear. I had my little custom gear from ILWPOD, and then he put me in a match with Rockin' Rivera, um, and a bunch of other people I like love and appreciate now. Um, yeah, it was a fatal four way. Yeah, and it was just so dope, so dope. I didn't know what I was doing. Like you could, I had black hair back then, and then I like shortly like went blonde after that. Like it was a very like young me. Like I barely had any muscle. Like very scrawny. Wasn't even 18 yet. Um, but I enjoyed myself. My mom, because she didn't understand wrestling for real. My dad, he understood it. Like he went to the shows with us. He bought the ticket, so he had to. Um, but my mom didn't understand what it was. She was like, "You do not perform." Like, no, she didn't even say perform because she didn't understand it. She was like, "You do not wrestle without me there," because she was scared I would get hurt or something. And so my coach was putting me in the match. I was like, my mom does not want me to wrestle. Like she wants to be here. And he was like, don't tell her. And I was like, okay. And so I did tell her. Actually, but I was so excited afterwards, after the match, that I called my grandma. Because this was back in Homewood. My grandma is in the south suburb. So she could have came, but by the time I knew I was in the match, like, she wouldn't, I don't think she would have made it in time because that was the pre show. Um, but yeah, so it was a crazy, crazy debut.
Okay. So, like going through like your research and your social medias, I've noticed you've been heavy in Wrestle League and Frontline Pro.
Mhm.
How important have those two promotions been to the career so far of yourself?
I think super important. Starting off with Wrestle League, like I consider that like my ground zero. Like that's where I started training. Excuse me. That's where I started training. That's where I met Kid Lad. We were actually like, I feel like when you're in wrestling, like you tend to gravitate towards like the younger people, especially as a younger person,
Yeah.
because like you're surrounded by all these like older people. And so we were like the same age. I think I'm like a couple months older. And so we gravitated towards each other. He was applying to a different school. I wanted to go to DePaul so I could like stay in Chicago and continue the training. Because when I would look at other states, it was like a lot. It was a lot of money. So I was like, okay, maybe don't want to do that. And DePaul gave me the most money, so I was like, okay, might as well. And so we ended up rooming together at DePaul. So we're still roommates now, 3 years. Um, and so yeah, like that's where I met Kid Lad. That's where I met like majority of friends. Like it's definitely like that's my family. Like that's and yeah, that's where I won my first tag team title. I won my first singles title in Frontline. Um, I think Frontline was my first. No, it wasn't my first out of state booking, but it was like my first consistent out of state booking. Um, love love Frontline Pro. That's where I won my first singles title. That's where I won the battle championship against
Hmm.
Paragon. And like it's been nothing but love. I think that's where like I've had the most consistent like fans. Because
Hmm.
we would run out of Bakerville Bar for a bit, and that was like a really nice feeling for people to like recognize my name. You know, like have a feeling associated to me because they saw me consistently, whether it was good or bad. They had that consistent feeling. I think it was really cool. And we kind of had that at Lincoln Hall too. Wrestle League, we run out of Lincoln Hall, which is right around the corner from DePaul. So it's a really good way to get all my DePaul friends out here. They'll announce me like Thunder and Lightning, um, as from DePaul University, and like the crowd will go crazy. So that's one of my favorite parts. And I've had people tell me like, you guys are my favorite, like Thunder and Lightning, like we love you guys. So it's really nice. I love consistent venues. Like it gives you a chance to build that connection with the audience, and you can do that outside too, outside of those venues. But like people can they know where to find you as opposed to like bouncing around. Um, so I love when I get a chance to perform in like consistent venues. It means the world when people recognize my name and like can have a feeling or a thought associated with that. Good or bad, I don't mind as long as they have the feeling. But
Definitely.
Frontline and Wrestle League, love them. Those are like my day ones. Day ones.
I love it. I love it. You mentioned winning the frontline battle championship.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like for you to win that championship? And kind of what was it like? How are you feeling walking out of that match as champion?
My goodness, it was crazy. It was like I can't even describe the feeling. And like Paragon, like I can't wait to run it back. Like I loved the match. Um, and like I wouldn't expect the reaction I got when I won it. Like the crowd, like, and I had people I knew in attendance. I know my sister. It was in Wisconsin, but thankfully it was like maybe an hour away from Chicago. So thankfully my sister was gracious enough to make the drive and watch me. I had some fans that consistently see me, that were in attendance, and so it was really nice to share that moment, with my sister, with those fans. And I was not expecting to get it. Like a couple days before the match, like it was at Frontline's Honor Bound, which is like sort of our WrestleMania, I'd say, or close to it. Um, I could be wrong, but I want to say it's like our WrestleMania. Um, and so like I before I even knew I was winning, like I had like these extra new like shoulder pads. I think that's when I bought my gauntlets that I use all the time now. Like to me that was like my WrestleMania entrance. And so I was doing all that before I knew I was winning. I got the call, they let me know I was winning. I was like, oh my gosh, like because before that I think I was maybe a little over a year in. Then I was a little bit after I turned 19. So it was like Mayish. Mayish of yeah. So a little over my first year. Um and it was just like, oh my gosh. Like it was like I tried to force cry, but I couldn't. But because I was just so happy. I was just so happy. Um, and then I know like a close friend of mine, Shaq Jordan, came out to celebrate with me. It was just great. Like I love telling stories. Like above everything, like telling the story of like the underdog. Like because like you would have not expected me to win. Like, but I did. And so I think that's really cool. I just love telling stories. Like that's when I think I'm the happiest is when I get to tell a story through the wrestling, whether it's a storyline or like a one-off. I just love telling stories. It was very surreal. Like and then it led to like a ladder match too, which was really nice. That's one of my favorite championship runs for sure. I could have. It was my first though, so there are a lot of things I would do different. Like a lot of different energies I would bring, but with it being my first, like I don't really beat down on myself too much just because like I didn't know sort of what comes with it.
Definitely,
But
definitely.
I'm
I
very
mean,
grateful to Frontline and Ben, um, for giving me that opportunity.
of course, of course. So, like, whose idea was it to bring yourself and Kid Lat together to form Thunder and Lightning?
We would talk about it actually before I even debuted. We would talk about it, and that's kind of where the Thundercat thing came from. I was first called the Thundercat, then I added like the Hood Rat Thundercat as like a differentiator. Um, but I was thinking like, okay, like what goes together with lightning? And then I was like, okay, thunder. And I was trying to think of like cool thunder things, and I thought of Thundercats because I loosely remember that from when I was a kid. I definitely have to do more research later on, like um, maybe a year after into wrestling. Like I rewatched the 2011 show,
Okay.
and then I don't think we came together until we would do like tag team things, but we weren't called Thunder and Lightning until maybe 2 years in, maybe like a year and a half. And then it started catching on. Because before that, outside of Thunder and Lightning, I don't wear the mask. It's just my face. Because he wore the mask, but Kid Lad wore the mask, so I wanted to sort of. But I did wear furry sunglasses, which you can see like right there. I wore stuff like that, so it was kind of like me mixing our worlds together, like my glasses with like his mask.
I
Um,
got you.
and so, but we didn't come together until like maybe 2 years in. And then now it's like our thing. Like we do that Wrestle League, Frontline. We've won championships in both Wrestle League and Frontline as a tag team. We wrestled in Mississippi as a tag team, and we're oh, see, okay, yeah, we have a booking December 6th in Mississippi. See, I needed to jog my memory, but that's why I have a calendar. I put everything in my calendar because I will forget. Um, but yeah, and so it's been so much fun. Like it's been a different experience, like living together, working together. Um, yeah, kid, that is my boy. He's my boy.
What's it been like for you two to not only grow together, but to be able to win multiple sets of tag team titles throughout, multiple promotions, like you mentioned, Wrestle League and Frontline Pro, and hopefully more in the future?
It's super exciting. Like I think it's so fun when you get to do things with like your friends and like with the
Hmm.
people you consider close. Like I'm very fortunate. Like we met each other when we did. We got to room with each other when we did. Especially in an industry so I'm not gonna say old because there's a bunch of like young people I see like killing it, but I feel like it's predominantly like adult based, and I'm an adult, but like I'm a lot
You're
younger,
a young adult.
right? So like
Yeah.
it's like way I feel like it's way different, and like it makes the relationships you grow with the younger people so much more stronger, and so like I'm glad I can do it with him, learn together, and also kind of learn from him too, with him being a longer fan, with him training longer than me too, because there's things like he still teaches me, like I learned through him, so it's a very pleasant experience.
What's been the match or moment so far in your career that you've been the most proud of?
Ooh. I think one of them, and I'm sure some will come to mind as I talk, but the first one that comes to mind is when I defended the tag team champion. Oh, no, no, ooh, no. The battle championship in a ladder match at Frontline against EJ Swanson, um, Jared Jax, and Max Wayne. I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure I butchered that name. I'm pretty sure it's something else, but I'm also tired. It's been a long day, long day. But that was super fun. I love gimmick matches. That was super fun. I did like a sunset flip off the ladder. That was really cool. I feel like it was, especially with it being like my first gimmick match, first championship run. Like it was, I feel like a really nice way for me to grow as a wrestler. Um, let's see. I know for sure I have like more matches that like I just love. They're not coming to mind right now, so I'm gonna just say the ladder match is
Okay.
probably my favorite.
Got you, got you, got you. Um,
Oh, I
we've
do love. There was a Pride show match with Wrestle League, me versus Shaq Jordan and Don Capri. That was super fun.
okay.
And that was when I was a little newer. Like I think that was maybe like my second match, um,
Ooh,
second or third. I want to say second match, and so that's still one of my favorite matches. Love that match. Uh
it's
huh.
really cool to have one so early in your career because, like, usually guys don't like the stuff they've done. I mean, even up until like a couple months before, especially like early in their careers. So, like, it's cool to see you be so prideful of something you did so early.
Yeah, and that it's very like flip floppy. Like I I feel like I rarely like leave a match. I feel like I never leave a match thinking, "Oh, that went perfect."
Okay.
Like I can't even watch my matches back. Like there are only a select matches, like select few that like I can watch back. Everything else it's like pulling teeth to like watch. It's just so cringy. But I feel like it's definitely not like an exclusive experience. Like I know I hear a bunch of people like that's how it is for them. But
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. So, like, we've talked about you wrestling in Frontline Wrestle League. You're going to be doing a trip in Mississippi. I'm sure you've wrestled a bunch of other places, but is there anywhere, whether it's local, whether it's far away, that you'd like to work in the future?
Yeah, a lot come to mind. I see good work with AW.
Hmm.
Love seeing them. I know there's more because I just talked with someone about this. Oh my goodness. AW. Um, that's the first one that comes to mind. Like I love. I've been loving the stuff I see from them. Um, CSW too. I would love to get into CSW. Um, let's see. Really anywhere. Like I love spreading my wings. Like getting a chance to learn from different people. That's all that's coming to mind right now. But anywhere, like I want to learn. Like that's probably my biggest thing. Like I want to improve and get better. So I've been trying to expand more. But yeah, I'll take anything. I'm overly going, very overly going for new horizons, new opponents. Um, yeah.
Have you had your like dipped your toe in the water at all with Lucha Libre?
Um, I wrestle for All Star Lucha Libre. I've been like
Okay.
trained in it. I know Kid Lat mentioned because he trains in Lucha Libre. He mentioned trying to get me to one of their practices, which I would love to do. I didn't bring it up though because I don't like to bother him. Sometimes he can be something, but you know I'm gonna probably take him up on that offer very soon, especially with winter break coming up like I have all the time.
I know, like, I talk to a lot of guys, especially in the Chicago area, that wrestle for Galley. And I was just like, as soon as you was earlier talking about your like high flying style, and then when we really started talking about your the team with Kid Lat, I just like I don't know why, but like I've been to a couple one galley show. I don't want to say a couple. I've been to one galley show, and I feel like it might be interesting
You
to
know
see you two in galley.
I would love to. You know, I'll take it. I'll take. I would absolutely love to. I hear about Galley. I know a couple people um who
I know
wrestle.
Axel wrestles there. I know he's talking about Axel off
Mhm.
air. Axel Rico wrestles there.
I
Rafael
want to say Maurice
Quintero.
too. Maurice too.
Yep, Maurice. I love Maurice. He was actually my first CSW guy, and I didn't
Really?
realize it because we didn't talk about CSW really.
Mhm.
I think he hinted around it. He trained at a couple different places,
He used to train
and
at Wrestle League for a little bit too.
okay, I know he now trains at Ice Pick. So like Maurice has done his training everywhere. There was one that he didn't want to discuss, so I didn't really dive into any of it because I felt like it was I don't want to speak for him, but I feel like it was one of those like maybe sour subjects. And
Mhm.
I think I know the promotion he was talking about, and if it's who I think it was, it's probably not the best one to get out there and get into the weeds about, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. So, not Maurice. He's a guy I think that has a lot of potential.
I love
That
Maurice. Like
man,
he,
he's finding himself too. He's
yeah,
just like I feel like he's really right now finding out who this character is, and I'm excited to see what he does with it because it's interesting.
I love Maurice so much. I think it's really cool to see like how sort of your relationship with like a wrestler progresses. Like not only like when I was starting out, like I think I don't even know where we met, but I saw him when me and Lat went to a CSW show when we were rooming, like back in our early years of college. Like he saw us in the audience, and like we didn't know each other too well back then, and to see us now, like I love him. I love him so much. I love Maurice. I love anytime I share a locker room with him. Like it's just amazing. I like, and that's like something I love about wrestling is like there are people you don't see a lot, but like the moment you're in the locker room with them, it's like a reunion. Like it's, I love it. I love the connections wrestling has brought me in the
Yes.
friendship, the relationships. It's like it's very meaningful, very sentimental.
I agree. Like obviously, my relationship with wrestling is gonna be a little bit different than yours. I don't want to say a lot different, but like going to shows and interacting with people that's listening to the podcast because maybe I've had their favorite wrestler on, or even seeing some of the guys. Like I can tell you there's not a CSW show where I don't go and I don't have a 10, 15 minute conversation with Axel Rico or Bruce Hamilton or Quintero. Like these are guys that when I see them, we immediately it's like it's time to catch up,
Mm-hmm.
time to talk about what we've done, where we've been, just maybe I saw what they like some cool stuff they've done, and it's like time to catch up on that. And they've seen maybe I had this interview, and they want to know about it. So it's just one of those things that it's cool to see wrestling bring people together
Yeah.
because even in the aspect of like there might be things that as human beings we don't agree upon with what's going on in the outside world. But when we are in this wrestling bubble, it's almost like everything else doesn't exist. We don't even have to talk about that or worry about that because the one thing we can agree on is that we love wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like it's almost like a form of like escapism, which I love about wrestling. Like I love providing people with that like escape. Like I don't know what's going on in like your life, but I hope when you come here, you can just put all of your energy and thoughts into this, enjoy it, and just like forget about whatever needs to be forgotten
Yeah,
for however long the match is, however long the show is. Um, and I just think that's really special. Providing people with that entertainment, with that sort of passion, to me, I think is really important. And I think it makes what I do very worth it.
definitely. No, I've probably touched on it a couple times here on the podcast, but I think that's always been my favorite part about it is because like growing up, my life was a little chaotic. Um, excuse me. But like you never knew what was going on. But I knew every Monday and every Thursday or Friday, whenever SmackDown was on, I could rely on wrestling to give me 2 to 3 hours of a break from everything else. And it was just something I always look forward to because everything else was chaos.
Mhm.
But like this was a controlled chaos that didn't affect me.
Absolutely.
So it's my favorite part.
Wrestling, it's just so great. So great. I hate when people like don't give it a chance because it's like they like to say fake. I like my friends will say that and then it's just like I don't think you get it. Like I just don't think you understand it. But
But
I've met people when I tell people I do wrestling, I've met the people who are like no way, like I used to watch wrestling. Like a lot of like in my business fraternity, whenever I meet new people, like that's like my leading thing is that like I do the wrestling and like that's what people will tell other people. And so like they're like you're like you're the wrestler. I'm like I'm the wrestler. I'm the wrestler.
I do my
Like right, like I
thing.
like like I do it here and there, and so it's really cool to hear about sort of their history with wrestling, who they used to love and watch, who they still love and watch, and that extends past like the business fraternity. That's just like how much like I've like experienced that the most with the business fraternity, but like that's like my classmates, like people I just meet, like it means a lot. Like it's a very cool thing because like it's definitely something a lot of people grew up on, and it's like a very niche thing. So when you find out people like it or that people like me do it, it's like that's crazy. Like I know there was a wrestler that went to DePaul, and like I don't even know how we found out about each other, but like when I found out there was another wrestler at DePaul, I was like, other than me and Lad, I was like, what? Like it's like such a niche thing that when you find stuff like that out, it's like super exciting.
Definitely. So something I find super exciting, especially talking to you guys, is figuring out, who you guys would consider a dream match. So
Mm-hmm.
do you have any dream match scenarios?
Oh my goodness. A lot of mine, I won't even lie, with me being like a women's wrestling fan, a lot of them are like intergender. I would love to do, I think my dream is like Adonis versus Sasha. I think that's like my biggest dream. Finn Balor would be cool, Mustafa Ali. And a bunch of my friends too. Like I would love, me and Shaq Jordan have been trying to go 1-on-1 for like the longest. But yeah, I would say Mustafa Ali, Finn Balor, Sasha Banks, Ember Moon. Let's see, there's just so many people. Yeah, I think those are the ones right now. There are a lot
Okay,
of like intergender. With me being a women's wrestling fan, like a lot of intergender matches. Um, but yeah, I think Sasha Banks is like my number one. Number one.
got you, got you, got you. I'm gonna ask one
Do you
more
have any dream
question.
matches?
Do I have a dream match
Yeah,
for my personal self, or like, let's say, like I'd like to see like Cena versus somebody or
either,
something like that?
either.
Either. Um, I guess if I, was to get in the ring and I was to train two people that immediately come to mind for me to face, which would be crazy. I'll throw four out there actually, just because I got to give these guys a shout out. Um,
Oh, Randy Orton. I
independent
want to
rest.
add my
Randy
to my.
Orton.
Mhm.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Um, independent wrestling. I'm gonna go. I've mentioned them a couple times so far, but Axel Rico and Quintero, I think would be badass. Just because those guys are so good in the ring, so good. Um, and then just like notable. I don't want to say notable because that sounds messed up, but like on screen personas, I should say. CM Punk and Jeff Hardy are probably
Mm,
those are the two. Like I'm a huge CM Punk fan. I'm a huge Jeff Hardy fan. I've been fortunate to have Jeff and Matt on, so like
nice.
Jeff, I'd have to say, just because the amount of crazy stuff I jumped off of because I was a Jeff Hardy fan is probably uh, not healthy. So that'd be my answer.
Nice. Okay. Very, very solid answers. Very solid answers. I think I
Um,
do add like me and Lat have definitely talked about going against Jack Valor and Eddie Grayson before. I think that'd be cool.
Jack and Eddie
Definitely
are
like
incredible.
anything with like younger guys. Like I love there's such a camaraderie in my opinion when like I meet someone my age um in this industry. So I'd love to grow and do some type of work with but there's been a lot more I wrestle league there's been a lot more rookies so a lot more younger guys coming into the mix which is super exciting um but yeah honestly like because I feel like we're the next generation so I think it's like really cool to like work together build something together but yeah I'll take anybody though I'll take anybody can catch these claws.
I like I like how much we've talked about the youthfulness in wrestling because, like, I think when we look at the outside world, there's a lot of negativity put at youth these days, whether it's for social media or just different avenues. But in the wrestling perspective, I think the wrestling community is in great hands when it comes to you guys coming up in this business. I mean, just like yourself, Kid Lat, Jack and Eddie. I mean, Quintero's 24, young. Javon Evans is like 19, 20.
Yeah.
Like the amount of talent that is isn't even in their 30s yet that's already ready to be world champions even like on TV is crazy. And I know like there's always the negative connotation when you look at the WWE and AEW rosters that all the main guys right now are in their 40s or early 50s. But if you look just under that, about all the guys that are just about ready, if not already ready, to be in that spot, it's like double. And nobody brings that up. And you pointing it out made me just think about it and maybe I guess feel like I need to express it. The youth in professional wrestling is about to take over and it's going to send us into the next 20 years.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, honestly. Like it's just so cool. And like I want to shout out like the vets who like don't see that as a threat. Like I think going off on my own, I was very scared like of being taken advantage of in locker rooms, like sort of vets that have a poor mindset. But I want to say every vet I've worked with has just had my best interests at heart, has like wanted me to grow. And I really appreciate, or maybe not all, I don't know, but
A lot of them.
a lot of them, the majority of them. And like, to me, that's just like amazing. Like, I don't think they realize like how meaningful that is. Cause like coming into this, like it's definitely scary, especially as a youngin. It's like, pretty scary. So I do appreciate everyone who like just like invests in me, like their time, their energy, and expresses their care for my growth. I shout out to all the vets. I do appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you guys, and like I want to carry sort of that love and respect onto where, if I end up making it to that like level and age, I want to pass it down to the generation after me and like the youngins that come in after me. So yeah, I want to keep it going.
I like it. I like it a lot. Last question, then we'll let you go. At least for this time. We're about to be hot into 2026.
Mm.
Where does Adonis Allen want to see himself goal wise throughout 2026 and at the end of the year? What does that look like for Adonis?
I think next year Adonis is going the hardest he's ever gone. Trying new things. I think this because 2025 was already a year of growth. 2026, like I want whatever opportunity I can get. I want to make the most out of it. I want to learn as much as I can, and really just grow as a wrestler, as a person. Um, Hopefully, I'll be traveling more. I do know I want to try to see what is outside of Chicago post graduation. So I would love to explore that. But yeah, just growth, progress, um, and really just diving the deepest I've ever gone into this world.
I love it. Adonis, thank you so much, man, for joining me.
Thank
This is a
you. Thank
great
you for having me.
episode. Of course. Just in case for some reason they weren't paying attention at the beginning, would you like to shout out your social medias one more time?
Yeah, I'll give them one more chance. This is their time to lock in. So my Instagram is underscore Adonis Adonis, I think. Dot Allen Allen underscore. And then you can find me on YouTube and Spotify, and Apple Music and whatever other music out there, as Adonis Allen. Um, and yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Adonis. Like I
Oh,
said,
thank you so much.
I'm gonna leave the door open invitation. Maybe we can get next time. Maybe we can get you and Kid Lad on here. Do a
Let's
little
see.
thunder and
I'm
lightning
going home to
action.
him now, so I'm gonna talk to him about that when I go home. So
Sounds good, man. Thank you so much. I will leave this and see you next time.
thank you so much.